Have you ever felt like um, no matter what you do, or maybe who you're attracted to, there's this invisible set of rules,
Mm,
and you feel like you're constantly breaking them, like your very desires are put on trial somehow,
huh.
under a microscope maybe.
Yeah, needing constant justification. It's a heavy feeling.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, isn't it? A
Yeah.
burden on the heart, really.
Mm.
Makes authentic connection feel like, I don't know, navigating a minefield sometimes.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Today, we're diving deep into a powerful, um, really provocative piece of music. It tackles this exact feeling head on.
It really does.
It's a song called Can't Win for Wanting.
Mm.
It's by a musical protest project known as Bigot Much.
Yeah.
And wow, believe me, it holds up a mirror to some uncomfortable but incredibly vital truths about modern desire.
Yeah, our mission for this deep dive really is to explore how this song, and we've also got the artist's own insights, which are illuminating how it dissects this whole modern landscape, attraction, identity, and we'll uncover how, maybe surprisingly, even within progressive and queer communities, spaces often defined by liberation,
Uh-huh.
new, sometimes quite insidious rules can pop up. And these rules, maybe despite good intentions, can lead to, well, new kinds of shame, impossible standards,
Yeah.
and what the artist powerfully calls the weaponization of the heart. So we're here to unpack the artist's intent, really get into it, and see what this piece reveals about the nuanced, kind of messy, but ultimately truthful experience of human desire.
So who exactly is Bigamoj? The artist calls it a musical protest project for a noisy world.
Mm-hmm. I like that description.
Yeah, me too. And it really resonates when you listen to their work, the sound.
Hmm.
It's incredibly eclectic, and that seems very much by design. It swings, purposefully between these fierce anthems, then you get satirical takes, and then these really tender tributes.
It's quite a range.
It is. You get this compelling blend of urgency, humor, and the refusal to look away, which feels like such a direct response to just the noise of modern life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the constant chatter.
What's also really fascinating, and it's a real insight into their creative process, is how the artist talks about their ADHD experience influencing the music.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, they often create multiple versions of songs, offering, as they put it, comfort and surprise in balance. And this isn't just like a random quirk. It seems like a deliberate strategy.
Right, to reflect something deeper.
Exactly. Reflecting the multifaceted nature of truth, of experience.
Yeah.
The way they shift genre and tone, it's not just stylistic flair. It feels like it mirrors the emotional whiplash of navigating these contradictory social expectations we're talking about. It actually amplifies the lyrical protest through the music itself.
That makes a lot of sense. And what's truly, I think, insightful here about Can't Win for Wanting specifically is that it's not your typical protest song just railing against, external oppressors.
Right.
It does this incredibly brave thing, turning its gaze inward. It offers a really sharp critique of the very communities it belongs to, the ones it seeks to represent.
That takes courage.
It really does. It speaks directly to the creation of a new, insidious set of social rules around attraction. Rules that, even if they come from a desire for justice or safety,
Uh-huh.
often end up leading to, as the song says, perpetual shame, impossible standards, and the weaponization of the heart. And this is where it gets really incisive, critiquing what we might almost call a progressive purity culture.
Progressive purity culture.
Huh.
Explain that a bit more.
Well, unlike, say, traditional purity culture, which often polices sex and bodies through religious ideas,
Okay.
this new form, the song suggests, polices desire and identity through, ideological alignment. Your attractions aren't just personal anymore. They become subject to this intense political, social scrutiny.
Right, like they mean something specific.
Exactly. And if you fail to perfectly align with whatever the evolving standards are, your most intimate feelings can suddenly become public liabilities. It weaponizes the heart against itself, essentially. Turns vulnerability into a potential accusation. It just captures that exhausting hypervigilance you mentioned earlier, the kind required in modern dating where every connection, every look feels like it's under suspicion, judged by some unseen jury.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we dig deeper here, one of the things that really struck me from our sources is how the title itself, Can't Win for Wanting, just perfectly encapsulates the whole message.
It's incredibly concise, isn't it?
It really is. It
Yeah.
immediately sets up this feeling of moral jeopardy around just wanting someone.
Yeah.
It feels like desire itself is suspect, guilty until proven innocent maybe, and maybe not even then.
Precisely, yeah. The song immediately establishes this central conflict with those really stark opening lines. Can't win for wanting, can't touch without taint.
Oof. Powerful.
It's an incredibly potent setup. Just the simple human act of attraction, the bedrock of connection, is framed as potentially problematic, dirty even,
Good point.
or guilty before it even gets off the ground. And this isn't just about external judgment, I think. It's about that deep-seated anxiety, that feeling that your authentic self, your basic desires, are somehow inherently flawed or
Yeah.
inappropriate.
And it just spirals from there, doesn't it?
Right.
Into what feels like that Goldilocks nightmare with the line, too much, too little, never just right. You're forced into this constant performance. You have to perform your identity, your desire, your whole being with this exacting precision, or you're going to get it wrong. It's like walking a tightrope.
An exhausting tightrope walk, exactly. And the song opens by highlighting this profound hypocrisy, the immediate pressure to self-censor. Remember the line, you said you want a real one, but not too real, not too raw.
Yes, such a good line.
It reveals this demand for authenticity, but like only a palatable version, right? Sanitized, ideologically pre-approved authenticity. It's a powerful way to start, showing how quickly that desire for genuine, unedited connection gets stifled by these unspoken but incredibly powerful social rules.
Yeah.
It suggests that even in spaces that claim to champion realness, there's often a very specific, controlled definition of what that realness is allowed to look like.
You mentioned the song turns its gaze inward, critiquing its own communities. Can you give us a sense of how these internal rules maybe manifest differently from, say, external pressures? What makes this shame machine, as the song calls it, so particularly potent when it comes from within?
That's a really crucial distinction.
Yeah.
The song elaborates on this concept with those, frankly, chilling lines. You build the shame machine, then call us fools for falling in.
Chilling is the right word.
What's really insightful here is how the song shows this isn't just a critique of external bigotry, the obvious stuff. It's about an internalized mechanism. The constant policing isn't just coming from other people. It becomes this self-surveillance system we impose on ourselves.
Ah, okay.
And this is where we see parallels, maybe not just to traditional purity culture, but also to the kind of anxieties fueled by constant online performance, the pressure to signal virtue all the time.
Right, the performative aspect.
Exactly. Often these are well-meaning attempts,
Yeah.
trying to create safer, more equitable spaces. But when they're applied too rigidly, they can accidentally build these systems with ever-shifting standards.
Yeah, the goalposts keep moving.
Precisely. And individuals then get blamed for inevitably failing to meet them. It creates this cycle of shame that feels inescapable because it's coming from within your own community, maybe even your own head.
Wow.
It just puts this chilling effect on genuine connection, replaces spontaneous desire with, calculated self-presentation.
And the song doesn't shy away from specifics, does it?
Yeah.
It gives these really poignant illustrations of how attraction gets policed. Take this one. Very provocative example. White boy's into melanin. He must be chasing skin, but date his own. He's hiding safe and sanitized within.
Yeah.
That just lays out a complete no-win scenario, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where the desire itself is just inherently suspect.
It absolutely does. His desire is pathologized no matter which way it goes. If he dates outside his race, boom, accused of fetishizing, chasing skin, right? Often interpreted as reducing a person to a racialized trait.
Okay.
But then the flip side, if he dates within his race, he's seen as hiding. Not truly progressive, maybe not brave enough, staying safe and sanitized within his perceived privilege. It's a psychological trap.
Definitely.
And what's insidious is that the song isn't dismissing the very real issues of racial fetishization. Those are genuine concerns, obviously.
That's good.
It's highlighting how the policing of desire itself can become so absolute, so rigid, that there's almost no path to genuine connection without being accused of some ulterior motive.
And then there's that other equally challenging example. It really pushes the boundaries of the critique. Trans girl turns a lover down. He's a bigot now, they say. But if he leans in close too fast, he's a fetish case today.
Yeah, that one's intense.
It is. It highlights a profound tension there. But, for some people listening, these rules might feel like necessary boundaries, maybe born from a history of real harm or misrepresentation. Does the song offer any insight into the intentions behind these standards, or is it solely focused on their negative consequences?
That's a really astute observation, and it gets right to the core of the song's nuance, I think. While the lyrics primarily illuminate the consequences, the negative fallout of these rigid social dynamics,
Right.
the critique itself implies an understanding that the intentions often stem from a valid place, protecting marginalized communities from very real threats, transphobia, fetishization, objectification. These aren't imaginary dangers.
Absolutely not.
But the song's genius, I think, lies in showing how these protective mechanisms, when they're taken to an extreme or applied without nuance, without grace, they can create a paralyzing double bind for everyone involved.
Okay, so the double bind.
Yeah, for the trans girl suitor, in that example, it's an impossible situation. If he expresses disinterest, maybe he risks being labeled a bigot, denying her validity. Yet if he is genuinely attracted to her and approaches too fast, or even if it's just perceived as too fast, he's accused of having a fetish, reducing her to her identity.
Lose, lose, lose.
Exactly. And crucially, this isn't about blaming the trans community for wanting safety. It's about critiquing the social dynamic that makes genuine, unpoliced, ultimately human connection incredibly difficult, where both acceptance and rejection can lead to accusations. It highlights how the fear of being seen as problematic can sometimes become a bigger barrier to intimacy than actual prejudice might be.
Wow. Given the raw, really provocative nature of these lyrics, it would be so easy to misinterpret them, wouldn't it? Just take them at face value, which is why this kind of deep dive feels so vital.
Yeah.
But the brilliance of "Can't Win for Wanting" seems to lie in its deliberate use of language. Understanding that artistic intent is just crucial to unlocking its deeper, more nuanced truths. So let's really dig into what the artist is doing with specific word choices. For instance, that line, "You like my curves, you're a creep, you don't, you're fatphobic deep." On the surface, it could sound like the speaker is the one making those accusations.
Right. But that's a crucial distinction the song invites us to make. I don't think this is the speaker's personal accusation at all.
Okay, what is it then?
Instead, it feels like a satirical distillation. It's capturing the internal and external monologue that someone might experience when dating while having a trait that's marginalized, like being fat or existing outside conventional beauty standards.
Oh, that makes sense, the internal voice.
Yeah. It captures that paralyzing anxiety of being constantly judged, where any attraction or lack of attraction feels like it's being scrutinized for political incorrectness or a microaggression or some deep-seated prejudice. It's about feeling like you're under a microscope, constantly performing for this invisible audience where every interaction carries this hidden risk. The listener really feels the suffocating weight of those impossible standards.
And let's go back to that "white boys into melanin" line. Your analysis earlier pointed out something really powerful about the specific phrasing, "into melanin." It's so clinical, objectifying.
Exactly.
It's not the white boy's perspective being shown there, is it? It's something else.
No, it's definitely not his perspective. It's the voice of the community's gossip, right? It's the external judgment, the reductive labeling that gets applied to a desire that's been deemed problematic. The song is showing how desire gets policed and reduced to this political shorthand.
Stripping it of its humanity.
Precisely, stripping it of inherent humanity and complexity.
Yeah.
By using that sterile, almost scientific language, melanin, the lyricist makes the listener feel the discomfort, feel the dehumanization of being reduced to a single, almost commodified trait rather than a whole person. It's a brilliant move, I think, to illustrate the objectification that comes from that judgmental lens.
Yeah. It really is. And this leads us to what I thought was one of the most profound readings from our source material regarding the lines, "Don't be too femme, don't be too tall, don't make me question what I saw."
A key section.
At first glance, especially thinking about discussions around gender identity, it might seem like it's purely about, genitalia or physical presentation.
Yeah.
But you interpreted it as something much deeper, touching on this universal yearning for acceptance.
Yes, I think this line is incredibly rich. It definitely goes beyond just genitalia or simple physical traits, though those can be part of it. It feels like it's about the entire performance of gender, the pressure to conform to legible ideals,
Okay.
and the discomfort that arises when someone doesn't fit neatly into preconceived categories. Being too femme or too tall or any deviation from some narrow expectation, it threatens to disrupt the observer's pre-existing worldview. It forces them to question what I saw, not just visually, but maybe ideologically too.
I see.
So my reading and what our source material really emphasizes is that it's this profound plea for just uncomplicated acceptance, a rebellion against the demand that you have to provide a politically correct justification for your desire or even for your existence. The line implies, look, I just am, and that's okay. I don't need to explain it, analyze it, or intellectualize the fact that my being or my attraction to you might challenge your framework. It's a powerful call for mutual respect, for trust in the authenticity of love. Rejecting the idea that every single aspect of attraction needs intellectual dissection or some pre-approved ideological stamp. It's seeking grace, really. Understanding over interrogation.
You can truly feel the weight of that desire for uncomplicated acceptance. You really can.
Yeah.
And beneath all the sharp critique, the biting satire, there's such a powerful emotional core to this song, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely.
A longing for something more humane, more genuine. It's just the ache of a heart wanting to connect.
Absolutely. Those lines, I want to love without landmines, want to be wanted, not dissected, they feel like the absolute emotional core of the whole piece.
Yeah, they hit hard.
It's just this raw, vulnerable cry for freedom. The freedom to be a complex human being with all the messy, contradictory desires, flaws, attractions that come with it, without constantly being analytically torn apart or forced to justify every feeling against some shifting societal rubric.
Right.
It speaks volumes about the psychological toll of that hypervigilance we talked about, where every potential connection feels fraught with danger. This isn't just about dating, is it? It's about the fundamental human need for acceptance, for belonging, without qualification.
And that sense of wanting to be seen as an individual, not just a symbol for someone else's agenda or judgment.
Yeah.
That comes through so clearly in I'm not your trophy, not your crime.
Yes.
It feels like a demand, really, a demand to be acknowledged for who you are and your full humanity. Not just a prop for someone else's wokeness or maybe an example of their moral failing. It's a reclaiming of self.
Indeed. It's a flat-out refusal to be instrumentalized, to be reduced to a political statement. It's this yearning to move beyond the sometimes transactional nature that identity politics can impose on relationships, where one person might be seen as a virtue signal or, conversely, a problem that needs correcting.
Yeah.
And ultimately, amidst all the pain and confusion the song so brilliantly dissects, it concludes with this really resilient, deeply tender hope. But I still believe there's truth in this aching thing.
That line gives me chills.
I too. It doesn't reject love or desire as concepts. Instead, it reaffirms faith in their fundamental, often messy truth. Even when that truth is aching and complicated, it's such a powerful affirmation that despite all the obstacles, human connection remains this profound, worthy pursuit.
This is really where the song's true power comes into play, I think, connecting directly to you, our listener. What stands out to you? Because for many people, this song isn't just a critique. It seems to have become this anthem of profound liberation, offering a kind of internal validation we maybe rarely hear articulated so clearly.
That's precisely where its transformative power lies, I think. In a world that often tells you, implicitly or explicitly, that your identity makes you complicated to love or maybe inherently less desirable. The song offers this incredible internal validation. It reminds the listener, quite unequivocally, you are allowed to be wanted. Full stop.
Just allowed.
Yeah. It's about quieting that relentless internal voice, the one that's absorbed all the external policing, the voice that tells you your specific desires or your specific body type or your gender presentation makes you fundamentally too much or not enough.
Right.
It's permission to simply be and to be desired as that authentic self. It grants you the grace you might not be receiving from those external systems, or even from yourself sometimes.
And that idea we discussed, don't make me question what I saw, connects so powerfully to self-acceptance, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
You could actually use that as a kind of mantra, couldn't you?
Yeah.
To stop questioning why someone might be attracted to you. To disarm that internal critic that demands a political justification for every feeling, and just accept that they are. It's incredibly beautiful, actually, to reclaim that space.
It truly is. It's about disarming shame, both internal and external. And this can even extend to reclaiming terms that have historically been used to pathologize or shame people.
Like what?
Well, our source material brought up a really fascinating example, the term chubby chasing.
Okay, yeah. Often used negatively.
Right, it's often a pejorative. Used to dismiss or pathologize attraction to bigger bodies, reducing it to a fetish or some kind of niche preference, separating it from normal attraction. To reclaim it, which the song implicitly encourages by validating all forms of wanting, would be to say something like, look, this is not a chase for something strange or taboo. It's a celebration of a beautiful and valid form of beauty. The attraction is genuine, complex, and worthy.
Turning it on its head.
Exactly. You are not an object of a chase, but a whole person worthy of love and desire. It's a radical act of self-acceptance, really, not just for the person who has desire, but also for the person experiencing the attraction, freeing them from the judgment that their desires are somehow less valid or need special explanation.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that love and attraction in all their myriad forms are fundamental. They don't require ideological permission slips.
Wow. This deep dive into Can't Win for Wanting.
Yeah.
It truly shows us a brave and I think profoundly necessary piece of music.
I agree.
It dares to challenge not just the external bigotry and oppressive societal norms we often focus on, but also the internal policing, those unspoken rules within communities that are actually striving for justice and genuine connection. It's a vital call for introspection, maybe, and grace.
It argues so compellingly that in our quest for a more just, more inclusive, more equitable world, we must never sacrifice humanity, nuance, and grace on the altar of ideological purity.
Well put.
It champions the aching, messy, and ultimately truthful experience of human desire in all its forms over the cold, faultless, and ultimately lonely safety of perfect compliance. It's really an invitation to embrace imperfection, both in ourselves and in our connections with others.
So, after all this, here's a thought to leave you with. What if the greatest act of protest, the most profound step towards liberation, is simply allowing ourselves to be loved exactly as we are without needing to justify it to anyone, including ourselves?